All right. All right. All right. Let's see. 7 things you didn't know about Germany. Feli from Germany. Okay. Shout out Feli.
Prisons, Oktoberfest, and the infamous Autobahn. This list has it all. Let's talk about 7 things you didn't know about Germany until now.
That'll be intro.
Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. And while most of
I want to be bilingual so bad, man. Like, you guys are trying to get me to learn Germany. What the fuck? You guys are trying to get me to learn German, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been practicing. But the thought of practicing is very intriguing. But, you know, I'm just like a little bit of a procrastinator.
Americans I meet here know a lot about German cars and engineering, about German history, and often even about soccer. I found that there are a few things that totally surprise them whenever I mention them. So I put together a list of
anything
7
about
of
Germany.
those things, and I bet most of you didn't know these either. Number 1, it's not illegal to break out of prison. Yes, you heard correctly. In the US and in Canada, breaking out of prison is considered a criminal offense, and if you get caught.
So let me hold on. Let me just like wrap my brain. I just woke up. It is very early in the morning for me. My brain actually has to process this information for approximately 0.2 seconds. So you're telling me a person could literally shoot someone in the face, go to prison, and just be like, I think I'm done. I think I'm reformed now. I kind of want a McDonald's burger. I'm feeling a McDouble for lunch. I'm not feeling chow time lunch, fucking mystery meat. I think I'm just gonna walk out of here, bro. I'll see you guys later. I'll come back though. I'll definitely come back. Just take off. Like, what the fuck?
It'll most likely lead to your prison sentence being extended. But in Germany, if you're incarcerated and manage to escape, that's actually considered part of a human's natural desire for freedom and ties back to the very first paragraph of our constitution, the Grundgesetz, that says, human dignity shall be inviolable. To respect and protect it shall be the duty of all states.
Why am I in 360p, by the way?
The German people therefore acknowledge inviolable and inalienable human rights as the basis of every community of peace and of justice in the world. So since the desire to be free is considered part of human nature, breaking out of prison is not counted as an additional charge in Germany and won't extend your sentence. What is illegal, however, is helping a prisoner to break out, and if the prisoner commits other criminal offenses in order to escape, such as damage of property or assault, they can be charged for those. And if
So what is the entire point of like actually being charged in Germany then, right? So like if I do a crime, get jailed, go to prison, and then just leave, I don't get like time added to my sentence. They just won't care. They're like, well, I guess he just didn't really feel like being here. There's nothing we could do about it, bro. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the equivalent of when you're working as a retail worker, right? You're working as a retail worker and someone ends up stealing. When someone ends up stealing, they tell you not to chase them because you could, they could pull out the blicky on you. You know what I mean? And you just get shot 17 times. Anyways, is this like kind of like one of those situations they just let you go on by and they're like, well, have a good day, bro?
They do get caught. They might also get disciplined by the prison for violating the prison rules, and it might hurt their chances for an early release. Germany isn't the only country where escaping from prison isn't illegal, by the way. It's the same in Austria, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Sweden, and even Mexico, just to name a few. By the way, just a little bonus fact, German prisons are actually considered some of the nicest and humane prisons in the world. And they have a very
better than my apartment
compared to American prisons, but that might be a topic for another video. Now, staying on the topic of security, one thing that you probably didn't know about Germany is that it's not very common to have security cameras at home. Well, here in the US, that's pretty standard. But I also never knew how easy it was to install security cameras before I came here. Ben and I are using the indoor security cameras by LitoCam, and they give us so much peace of mind when we're not home. Not just in terms of security, but also to check in on our cats, Izzy and Ern. A couple months ago, I showed you guys the LitoCam C1 cameras, but since then, we've actually added 2 of their P1 Number 2 of the things you didn't know about Germany is Germans get 4 to 6 weeks of vacation. Now, why would this even be surprising? Well, in
From
the
their
US,
jobs?
there's actually no legal requirement for how many vacation days or how much paid time off employers have to give their employees. According to Forbes magazine, the average American worker only gets 11 days of paid vacation per year. After 5 years of service,
this is
this
like
increases
literally
to
what I get.
15 days average, and after 10 years, it's 17 days. Which means that on average, even after 10 years of working at the same company, an American employee still gets fewer vacation days than the legal minimum.
4 to
in Germany,
6
which is
weeks?
20 days per year for a 5-day work week. That's just the legal
I need to
minimum,
move to
though.
Germany,
Most
man.
employers offer more vacation days than that. On average, it's around 28 vacation days per year, and you are usually
28?
also encouraged to take all of those vacation days. That's probably one of the reasons why Germans tend to travel so much. And nope, that does not include sick days. Those aren't limited at all. In the US, it's common to have a certain amount of paid sick days per year that are defined in your work contract. According to Forbes, Americans get 8 of those on average.
Bro, for my job, I get 2 hours of paid time off every Saturday. So I have to work 4 weeks to get 1 day off. This? And they get 4 to 6 fucking weeks? What?
Meaning that if they have to call in sick on more than 8 days, they don't get paid for those days anymore. In Germany, you usually just call in sick and that's it. If you're sick for longer than 3 days in a row, you usually have to submit a doctor's notice, but you'll still get paid. Before I moved to the US, I never even thought about this one being unusual in any way, but growing up, there was a brothel right by the mall I would always go to and close to the subway station. So every time I took my bike there, I literally went right by the brothel. Because yes, prostitution is legal in Germany. So don't be
There are some teenage boys right now who are like, I don't know, bro. I think we should go to fucking Switzerland or fucking Germany, bro.
surprised if you see streets like these in Germany.
Bro, it's kind of I might be like hearing things. Did she say like she just like went into the brothels?
In any way, but growing up, there was a brothel right by the mall I would always go to and close to the subway station. So every time I took my bike there, I literally went right by the brothel. Because yes,
oh, she went right by. Okay, I was like,
so
as a kid, she just went in there. They just let children in there. What the fuck?
This is the Reeperbahn, which is an infamous party area in the city of Hamburg, full of bars and night.
There's so many dudes here. Holy down bad, brother. Look at this, man. Dude. Okay, we got a couple female dude. Look how many fucking dudes there are. Holy down bad, bro. Holy shit.
This is the Reeperbahn, which is an infamous party area in the city of
This is
Hamburg,
insane.
full of bars and nightclubs, but also full of adult shops, strip clubs, and when you enter the side
Sexy
streets
devil.
and alleys, full of prostitution. But on the main street, you'll literally see people of all ages, tourists, even kids sometimes, stroll down the street and check out the adult shops because they usually have brightly lit windows and open doors, kind of as if they were like tourist gift shops or something. And some of them even have a doner kebab window built in. This is Germany in a nutshell right there. Germany
What?
is one of 9 European countries where prostitution is legal and regulated, but I would say Germany and the Netherlands are probably the 2 countries that are best known for it. Number 4, the Autobahn does have speed limits.
Bro,
yes, you heard
Germany
right, but
sounds
let's back
so
up a little
cool,
bit.
man.
The German Autobahn, or Autobahn in English, is known for being
Highway?
one of the only places in the world where you can drive without any speed limit.
Oh my god, it's like playing Forza IRL. So let me get this straight. If I ow fuck. Thank you, Ghosty, becoming a member. Absolutely appreciate you, brother. By the way, welcome in. So let me get this straight. If I ever wanted to play GTA in real life, all I would have to do is move to Germany. I get arrested. I walk out. I want to get my freak on. I walk down the street. I want to drive with no regard for other human beings. I hit the highway and I go like 1,000 miles per hour or however long I can go before my car like falls apart. What?
And it's actually become a popular tourist destination for
What?
car enthusiasts. Now, first of all, many people seem to believe that the Autobahn is some type of racetrack or one single street in Germany, when in reality, Autobahn is simply the German word for freeway or interstate.
See,
so the
I call
Autobahn
that.
really is all over the
I'm so
country.
good. I'm
but
so
don't
good.
be surprised if you get on it and see a speed limit sign right away. Because while there isn't
120?
a general speed limit for the entire Autobahn in Germany, about 30% of the Autobahn do actually have permanent speed limits posted, and on about 10% of it, you'll find temporary
120.
speed limits due to construction zones. Now, that does still leave us with about 60% of the Autobahn that has absolutely no speed limit. So yes, you will see cars going 200, 250 kilometers per hour or faster past.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was ever driving and saw that shit, I'd be like, probably a typo. Someone, put an extra number. This isn't real life. Bro, 155 fucking miles an hour, bro. Are you even like you're seeing the future at that point? Like you're not even seeing cars. It looks like in Fast and the Furious when they push the NOS and everything just blurs, bro. That's literally what you're seeing. Like you're not even seeing anything. How the fuck are you driving that fast?
Passing by in a flash, so make sure to stay out
That's
of that
so
left lane
fast,
unless
man.
you're the fast one or for when you're passing someone else, but then always make sure to get back into the right lane as soon as possible and never ever pass someone on the right side. In the US, people pass on the right all the time on interstates, and I think as long as there are more than 2 lanes, that's actually legal too, but on the German Autobahn, you're always supposed to stay as far right as possible. We call it the Rechtsfahrgebot, and only use the lane on your left for passing. Now that being said, while we don't have a regulated speed limit for the entire Autobahn,
Bro, ours
there is
is like
called
70 miles per hour.
Advisory
Our
speed
like
limit,
freeways.
and that is at 130 kilometers per hour. Now you're still allowed to go faster than that when there's no posted speed limit.
Holy shit.
But in the case of an accident, you might be considered partially at fault, even if you didn't cause the accident, which means that you or your insurance might have to pay for some of the damage. So that's something to keep in mind. By the way, if you want to find out more about all things driving in Germany, make sure to check out this video. Okay, so for this next
literally
one,
GTA,
I never
bro.
even realized that this misconception existed until I came to the US and got asked about how I celebrate Oktoberfest when I'm away from home. And I've definitely mentioned this one on my channel, like Thanksgiving or Carnival. that
Isn't
people
this just where
celebrate
they
all
like
over Germany.
drink beer?
Oktoberfest is
I've
simply the
seen
name
Beer
of
Fest.
one
I've seen Beer
specific
Fest, the movie.
folk festival or beer festival. I mean, yes,
Volksfest.
it's the biggest one in Germany and even the biggest one in the
So is this like Coachella? Is this like Germany's version of like Coachella?
entire world, and there are events in other parts of Germany and all over the world that use the Oktoberfest theme and that are even called Oktoberfest, but that doesn't
everyone's
make it
wearing the
some
same
kind
thing.
of franchise. At least not in the eyes of someone from Munich, which is where Oktoberfest, or Wiesn as we call it, takes place. Most Germans from outside of Munich have never even been to Oktoberfest, and the vast majority of them don't plan on ever going
Holy
either. At
brightness,
the end of the
bro.
day, Oktoberfest is just one of over 9,000 Volksfeste that take place in Germany every year. After Oktoberfest, the biggest ones are the Kranger Kirmes in North Rhine-Westphalia, the Rheinkirmes in Düsseldorf, the Kieler Woche, which is an annual sailing event in Kiel up by the Baltic Sea, the Cannstatter Vasen in Stuttgart, the Nürnberger Volksfest, and many, many
Bro,
more.
how many
So no,
fucking
I don't
carnivals do
celebrate
these guys
Oktoberfest
own?
When I'm not in Munich, it's not something you celebrate. You either attend it or you don't, and we don't say things like Happy Oktoberfest to each other either. If you're going to Germany for the first time and you
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't say like Happy Coachella Day. You'd be like, bro, I got tickets to Coachella. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, bro, I got tickets to Oktoberfest.
expect to be running into
I understand
Hitler
it now.
statues all the time and swastikas on old buildings, you actually couldn't be more wrong. Because Hitler statues never really existed to begin with, and signs and symbols from the Nazi era are illegal in public spaces. in
W
Germany,
Germany,
unless
bro.
it's in a historical context
W
or
Germany.
part of education, arts, science, or research. When the Federal Republic of Germany was founded in 1949, the idea behind this was to prevent victims and survivors of the Nazi regime from being confronted with these symbols unexpectedly in their everyday life. The ban includes flags, badges, uniforms, slogans, as well as forms
Holy
of
shit, bro.
greetings,
Anything
such as
Hitler
the
is fucking,
salute. So
you're going to
no,
jail,
Germans
bro.
won't find
That's
it funny
good.
if
That's
you do the
good.
Hitler
That's good.
salute, and you might actually get
That'd
in
be
trouble
Germany.
for it.
That'd
Now,
be
for
Germany.
symbols that were used way before the Nazis used them for their purposes, such as the swastika that originated in Asia as a symbol for fertility, or other Nordic and Germanic runes, those are only banned when they're specifically used in a political context with the Nazis or modern right-wing extremism. But if you're traveling to India or
I'm not gonna
Scandinavia
lie, my
and
brain
you're
is like
getting a
too
souvenir
small
with
to like
one of
kind of
those
like
runes on it,
comprehend this
you
second
don't
half
have
of
to
what
worry
she's
about
saying right
bringing
now.
it to Germany. And on a related note, those of you who regularly watch my videos probably already know this, it's also illegal to deny or downplay the Holocaust in Germany, out of respect for all of the victims and their descendants. This is regulated in paragraph.
People are downplaying that shit. Dude, what? People be like, yeah, bro, Hitler was definitely a thing. And then they're like, nah, bro. Urban legend, fable, myth, folklore. Like, what? What?
130 for
No, that's
offenses, so
insane.
hate speech, and it's actually punished with either a fine or up to 5 years in prison. And last but not least, to end this video on a more fun and lighthearted note, this was something that completely blew Ben's mind when he came to Germany with me for the first time. Most taxis in Germany are Mercedes cars, or Mercedes as we say
Mercedes?
in German. I had never even thought about this being weird before, but in the US,
Bro.
taxis can be all kinds of different car brands, and in a lot of cases, they're just your regular
German Ubers are all Mercedes-Benz? What?
Ford, Honda, Toyota, and other cheaper cars. And in Germany, you'll see different car brands as well, but Mercedes-Benz has been the most popular and most common taxi car brand for as long as I can remember.
So if I ever
their
want to be in a
A-class
luxury
model,
car,
E-class, or
I
for
have
bigger
to go to
cabs, the
Germany.
B-class. However, Mercedes
'Cause I can't
actually
afford that
announced
shit in
they're
America.
not going to offer the E-class in the taxi version anymore starting this year, so maybe the era of Mercedes cabs is coming to an end. I think it's important to keep in mind though that while Mercedes cars are definitely nice and expensive cars in Germany, they're not considered super high-end luxury cars the same way they are in the US, for example. In fact,
What?
according to this statistic, Mercedes
If you have a Mercedes-Benz, which is a crazy car to fucking own, bro, like such a fucking like baller car. If you have that in Germany, you're like, this shit are really just rolling around on a Mercedes-Benz? Oh, poor people. Like, what the fuck, bro?
are the second most common cars
What?
on German streets, right behind Volkswagen. Growing up, I had a lot of friends who had a Mercedes as their family car, so maybe that's also why I never found it weird that that's the model of our taxis. Which of these 7 things surprised you the most? Let me know in the
Everything.
comments below, and
Every
make sure to
single
also
thing.
share what other
Bro,
things
honestly-
you found out about Germany one day.
Honestly, the number one thing that surprised me was the fact that people in like prison can just walk out of prison like that. It's like, what the fuck? Oh man. And the brothel thing, and the driving thing, and the fact that it is literally GTA IRL. Needless to say, I kind of want to move to Germany now. Like, what the fuck, bro?
He's yapping in the fog, never lost for words. Looping like a legend, though it's all a blur. Content so crisp, even when he's late. Imposter games, chaotic